This was indeed a surprise. It was to political analysts and commentators here in the UK, and also to members of Ms Sturgeon's own party. We've heard that many are heartbroken, and they've had quite a sad reaction to what is shocking news for many. However, perhaps shouldn't have come as such a surprise. Just recently there was a poll that showed that 4 in 10 Scottish voters, so almost half, believed that Ms Sturgeon should step down. There's been some recent challenges that she's endured through her leadership. Probably the most significant of which was having a bill that had been debated in Scottish Parliament over the last 6 years be blocked by Westminster, by Britain's Parliament. So she wasn't making an inroads there. She had her second Scottish referendum that she'd proposed for next year found to be illegal, and so that was also blocked. There have been strikes throughout the United Kingdom, but also in Scotland. Teachers are going on fresh strikes next week. So there have been a number of challenges that she hasn't been able to break through as leader of the Scottish Party. However, when she was making her announcement just now, as you've heard, she said that there were 2 main options that she was weighing up, which was similar to Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, and they were whether staying on as First Minister was right for her as a person and whether it was right for the country. And after weighing up those 2 options, she's decided that no, this is the right time to step back from the leadership position. She will stay on in politics. She made sure to make note of that she'll continue to play her role with the Scottish National Party. However, she'll be stepping back as leader at some point. She'll stay in the role until a predecessor is selected, and we are expecting to have some contenders put their hands up in the coming hours. But as you said, this did come as a shock, so we aren't even really sure who may be running for the role and who could likely replace her as First Minister of Scotland.
And that's the big question now, Michelle, of course. So she says she will stay on. She also seems very committed to continuing to champion Scotland's independence from the UK. But that would probably depend on the likely candidates they put themselves forward and whether they're as committed to this fight, which it's going to be.
Nicola Sturgeon was a figurehead when it came to the push for Scottish independence. She was, whenever there was an opportunity to speak, in particular to a national audience, this was one of the primary focuses and something that she was looking forward to, I think, perhaps having as part of the legacy of her leadership. She won't do that, and I guess now is a time for the party to do a stock take and look at how it will push for independence and if it will have that same strong push the way that Nicola Sturgeon has gone about her role as leader. It's quite disappointing for those parts of Scottish society that are advocates for independence, because, as I said, Nicola Sturgeon was a figurehead. She went head to head with British Prime Ministers, with Westminster, and she was very strong in her convictions and her push for independence. Now is a time for a stock take for the Scottish National Party to look at whether this is a path they want to continue down, or whether this is something that needs to be, I guess, rethought, or the way that they go about it, if this is the right way, given that there hasn't been any real indication of an avenue for independence in the same way that Nicola Sturgeon has been going for it. However, Nicola Sturgeon did say that earlier, when she'd be contesting the next election, that the Scottish independence would be, it'd almost serve as a referendum, would be an indication of how Scotland feels and how the Scottish public feels. And she's asked for her predecessor to continue that, to carry that to the next election as well. And so we're still looking at the next election as a bit of a signal as to where the British public stands and whether a future referendum vote or a vote for independence may be successful if one were to take place.
Michelle, appreciate that. Developing news, and no doubt the London office will be providing a lot more reporting on this story. Thanks so much.